middle category, they're looking maybe to lose 5, 7 pounds, really kind of lean up. Your approach is really going to be just to decrease your caloric intake over the next 40 days, because it's not going to be a substantial decrease in your normal caloric intake. And then we have a category of people that are trying to get stronger and increase their lean muscle mass. Now in that process, you might lose a little poundage from fat, but we're really trying to get strong. And so if we want to get stronger, we're going to have to add, at some point, maybe not initially, but at some point, you're going to have to add some muscle mass. And what I mean by that is not size, but some couple pounds of lean muscle mass to your body. All right? A huge misconception is that if I want to get stronger, I want to all of a sudden bulk up and look like a bodybuilder, right? That's what everybody thinks, especially females. Sorry, that's not true. All right? So that's a good thing, because we are afraid of that. The last thing Terry wants to do is, turn into, looking like a professional male bodybuilder. That's not what she's looking for. But she can get stronger and not achieve that. All right? And so one thing we're going to really take into account here is weight is a fantastic measurement of gravity's pull on your body. Right? And that's what it is. Weight is a really horrible measuring stick of who you are and what your performance is. All right? And I have several people we can point out to go through like what maybe a scary weight looks like on the scale, but doesn't look like that in person. 150 pounds for a female might be scary to you, but if you're in a size 4, is it really that scary? And for most women, they'd say no, except for those that are in 2. You're like, no. All right. And for guys, we're going to be more apt to add muscle mass faster than women. Trivia question. Anybody know why? Raise your hand. Yes, James. Testosterone. Yeah. So testosterone helps build muscle mass. All right. Now there's other factors that factor into it, but that's why men can put on size and definition faster than women. So then what is that great fear for most women when we talk about getting stronger? It's, well, I don't want to bulk up. I already went over that. Well, you also don't have, not all of you have the same testosterone output as men. So that process isn't going to be the same. Now there is something that we have to play into great consideration. It's called genetics. All right? Each of us have genetics. And those genetics are unique to us and to our family and our bloodline. All right? If we were to take a picture of Kelly's family and throw them up on a big screen and look at them, they're all going to have very similar characteristics and very similar shapes and sizes. Hey, I get it, there are outliers, right? But I have a fairly large family. We have I have 6 siblings, so there's 7 kids, and my parents, so we had 9 of us in the house. You line us all up. Those that exercise look like this. Those that don't exercise have the same frame. They typically don't eat as well as the ones that do exercise, thus they could probably lose a few pounds. All right? But genetically, we're all virtually the same height. We all have the same shoulder size. I mean, we look extremely similar, just as you look extremely similar. And it would be very, very, it wouldn't be smart for me to base my self-worth and what I want off of the genetics of someone else. All right? And I think that our society does a horrible job of putting women specifically in this tunnel and telling them, hey, you've got to run this tunnel and you've got to look like, so-and-so, whoever that is. Dude, first of all, it's airbrush, but moving forward, has genetics that's put them in that place. All right? So something to consider. If you are short early on in life and you start gymnastics and you do okay because you're short, because of the physics of gymnastics, you progress through. All right? Correct? Because a shorter stature person is predisposed to be better at gymnastics, the same with weightlifting. If you're 5'5", you're not going to continue in basketball because there's no space for you on the court. All right? So, if you start off at a young age, insert whatever that age is, and you're doing a modeling career, you're going to be predisposed to kind of getting there if you're genetically fit. And maybe if you're genetically not, you're going to be weeded out because of the process of that. Does that make sense? So the people getting on covers of magazines, their genes are getting them there. Probably an agent and then a really good person behind Photoshop. So let's not get super focused on that. I want at the end of the 6 weeks for each of y'all to look at yourself in the mirror, with or without clothes on, with or without your spouse or significant other, and be happy with who you are. Alright? So what we're going to do is we're going to take a little different approach than what we've taken in the past as far as nutritional challenges. So we are huge advocates of paleo, without a doubt. Let me back up real quick. Just because I say all these things, I'm not making the claim that my life is 100% all of this. That's a huge misconception when somebody talks about nutrition and whatnot. Alright? We are humans. We have our own struggles with food and that control factor and what that does for us. So we need accountability just the same. So if I say something, you're like, whoa, dude, I've seen your Instagram. That's so contradictory. It is. And I'm 100% transparent. It is. I will have a burger and some french fries and probably 2 beers tonight. We had homemade pizza last time. Now, but all those things are factored into other things that are happening in our lives, mainly our exercise and our goals. All right? Now, I'm not saying that's daily intake, that's always happening. I'm putting that out there because I want to gain some credibility with y'all that I'm not trying to say one thing and then everything else in my life is totally different. All right? So, as we look at this, moving forward, we want to think, you know, we've always thought paleo, and I think I still think that is the #1 way to begin looking at eating better. All right? Just as I think CrossFit is the #1 way of looking to become more fit across broad time and modal domains. All right? So general functional fitness, this is the way to go. However, if we were to start CrossFit, and we were to take Deborah, and Deborah just jumped into CrossFit, she never counted her reps, she never tracked any of her barbell lifts, she never looked at any progress, and she may do that. All right? I don't know. I hope not. I doubt it because she's made progress. And she just showed up, blogged around, and walked out. In about 5 to 6 weeks, we'd be completely plateaued out. You know, if she always just used 65 pounds for everything, she's not going to get any better. And the same thing with nutrition. If we just say, hey, let's go eat paleo, we start eating paleo. All right? If you're not sure what that is, I don't have the time today to explain that. I would just say Google it, and I don't mean that too rude, but there's tons of research out there that you don't need me to talk about it. But if we're not sitting there thinking about how we're eating, because paleo is, there's a lot of people that eat paleo, and then their breakfast is like a 30-ounce smoothie of just all fruit. All right? They're not tracking what's going into their system. Thus, they go maybe 4 or 5 weeks, which would be a shock to their system from what they're currently eating, and then all of a sudden they're plateaued out. And the same thing happens in fitness, the same thing's going to happen in nutrition. So what we're going to look at today is how can we all of a sudden start using Wodify for our nutrition. You're really not going to use Wodify, but in the sense of tracking it and keeping up with what you're doing. All right? And so we have a formula today that we're going to go through. Exercise physiologists haven't done a ton of research on the effects of CrossFit and caloric demand and expenditure and all that. We have a kind of semi-professional exercise physiologist that has worked and coached y'all. Matt Brisbois, he's done his master's thesis on the subject of caloric expenditure of CrossFit versus ACSM standardized workouts. So we have some numbers. That's where I'm pulling some of my data today. His research article is online. You can get that posted if you want to read through it. We had, I think, 15 participants from our community that participated in the workouts and the tests, and 15 outside of our community that weren't CrossFitters. So we had a pretty good cross-section of information there. So these formulas we're going to take into account CrossFit as your activity, and then we're going to take into account the numbers that we're going to get from body analytics. If you're not doing the body fat testing, the body analytics stuff today, but you're still participating in the challenge, there's some ways that we can fill in these blanks. We don't have that time to do it today while we're meeting, but we'll be able to explore that once we get finished out. So let's see here. James, can you hand these out? If you're participating in the challenge, if you'll raise your hand, James will hand that out to you. And then if you don't have a pen, I have